Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor. With me, as always, Damian the Wolverine Hill. Trash Talk is brought to you by the sponsors of the show: Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, Spartan Martial Arts, the Striking Institute, James Clark Sports Psychology Hypnosis Therapy, the Fighters, and my mom, Damian. How you doing?
A whole lot better than you. How about you, sir?
And I thought I was doing all right, so you're having a pretty good day, I take it.
Hell yeah, bro. You already know. So anyhow, I guess what we're here to discuss tonight is the how fighters should carry themselves, react to, and I forgot how we wrapped that up when we were talking off camera. But basically how a fighter should react and display themselves when confronted in a street fight or a street altercation or anything like that at a nightclub, at home, at the streets, I mean in a park, at Whole Foods. Um uh and it's kind of an interesting topic because we've seen a lot of fighters at the highest level in street fights and brawls defending women at nightclubs, defending themselves, getting into just straight up ridiculous drunken altercations and things like that. And there's not really been has anybody been cut from the UFC for being drunk and getting into a fight?
No, only thing I can think of, and I think it might have been a timing issue more than the fight itself, would have been the Roger Huerta situation back in the day.
He wasn't in the UFC at the time.
Okay, so it might, like I said, it might have been a timing thing. It might have been right after he left.
Yeah, I think it was like
yeah,
one fight after he had left. He's already out of the UFC because I remember seeing an interview with Dana White, and he was asked about it, and he had said, "It's like good for him." He's like, he's not signing with us anymore. I mean, he defended that lady,
yeah.
and that's all he had to say. But I'm like, it's not necessarily that it's expected or that it's okay by any means, because it's not. You know what I mean? But I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Like when some shit happens, it's like it's one of those things. Now, when stuff is going on, we have heard stories of fighters saying like people have tried to say certain things to them or try to tell them that they suck and things like that or whatever, and they may or may not be trying to instigate a fight themselves, but handling those types of things and walking away and not actually like confronting them, that would be the harder part in my mind, but man, sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those situations that where luckily, and I mean, traditionally, when the better you get, the more understanding of your skills, the more likely you are to not be in that situation. But yeah, 100%. If it's a situation you can't get out of, maybe I'm the bad guy. But if you're being attacked, I say 100% full force on them. I mean, if it's a situation where you got to defend yourself, but it's the guys that are out there, I mean, and I can think of a couple in the back of my head right now. Those guys that get 2 shots in them at the club, and all of a sudden now they're telling people they're the fighter. I do MMA, bro. And it's just like, at that point, you're looking for an altercation. That's a completely different subject.
Yep.
But, I mean, if you're in a situation like where you got to defend yourself, I'm all for it. Fuck that guy up.
Okay, are you talking about like the fighter who gets 1 or 2 shots and then starts telling everybody they're a fighter?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's a fighter for sure.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't misinterpreting that, because that makes it so much funnier because we do know those guys.
Yeah.
And they're usually not that good either.
No,
but
anyway,
that's another thing. But one of the things that I wanted to discuss was the mindset of the person that's actually willing, let's say that's willing to go and confront a fighter. Let's say you're the bee's knees, you're the world champ, and I'm just some dude at the bar, and I hear that you're the world champ. and I go up to you and start talking shit to you about how I could mess you up, how I could do this, and try to make like it's playing, and then try to take some practice punches on you, but really just getting more and more aggressive the entire time. You know what I mean? And I've had, it's not usually at the bar, it's usually like friends of friends that have tried doing stuff like this, like where they're the tough guy usually, and then once I come around, like then now they got to be the tough guy and like show like that they know stuff too, or at least make sure that you know. That way, as long as if you respect them, then they could tell everybody like, hey, at least that dude he recognizes the skills and he actually has skills. So, you know, and like that's usually where I feel like it's going with those people. But the mindset of actually trying to confront them and fight them, it's usually the people that believe in the myth of the hands being registered.
Oh.
Like people feel like they have a free pass to go up and like, you're the world champ, TJ. I'm gonna go up to you and just hit you as hard as I can, and then you can't hit me back. You know, because your hands are registered, man. So I get free passes on that. You know, you don't get to defend yourself. And then if you do anything to me, you're the bad guy because yeah, I'm an obnoxious fan, but you should be used to that. You should put up with that, man. You should be this professional fighter, this guy that is already not sane because they chose professional fighting as a career and a lifestyle. That guy who everybody acknowledges isn't right because of what I just said. They chose fighting as their lifestyle, as their career path, even if they have other options. But that guy is supposed to be sane enough to hold himself back when confronted by an asshole at the bar, when he also has probably a few drinks inside of his system as well. Like what? And so the mindset of that guy is just like, one, you're dumbass, but they always feel like that they can play the victim at the end of the day too. You know, I kind of jumped on a few things for mindset, but
no, I'm with you, and I feel like you hit it on the head. Like they're not the brightest bulb, and for some reason, fighting it's okay for people to do that. No one walks up to LeBron and starts trying to post him up. No one's going up to Dave Chappelle and just, hey, check out my new bit. I got this comedy bit. You don't see Leo DiCaprio and drop your best monologue on him. I mean, but for some reason, guys, maybe they do. I guess, you know, I mean, these type of people. But for some reason, they see, the world champions sit there and they get in their head like, well, I could be a world champion. It's like, no, you can't. And hopefully those situations are resolved by the people around them. But God, I mean, I could only imagine how often that'll happen, especially to those top level guys.
Man, dude, the one thing that I hate the most is like, I guess people, I'm not wearing the bandana right now, but the people that watch the show, you've noticed and seen that I've worn a bandana in a lot of the episodes. You know, I only started wearing it in the episode as a joke, but anytime that I go out to the bar or anything, like I either try to wear a headband, a beanie that covers my ears, or a hat, because there's always one drunk fucking a-hole that comes up and either like grabs my ear or something that says, oh, you surround, and like they think that they have the right to touch my fucking ear. Dude, leave me the fuck alone. Oh my God. Or that they have like the one thing is like, oh, you got cauliflower, huh? I'm like, yeah, you can see it, can't you? You know? And they'll say, oh yeah, you used to wrestle then. I'm like, yeah, because I don't really want to have the conversation. You know, I've been in this game for a long time. I know where this goes, you know? Yeah. So I just say yes. I just accept it. Yes, I wrestle. And then they say, oh yeah, well, you know, wrestling doesn't mean shit without jujitsu. If you don't have jujitsu, you know, and then they want to go on a spiel and tell me about how I'm going to get my ass whooped. I'm like, all right, dude. Okay. And then even if they were to say jujitsu, or like if I was to say, yeah, I do jujitsu too, then it's like, oh, well, how come you don't fight then? What are you, some kind of pussy? Like that's never how they put it. They never say pussy, but they always ask it in a way that basically comes across that. It's like, dude, why the fuck haven't you fought, dude? Yeah. And then you get into the fight like, dude, I did fight, leave me alone. And then And then it comes into them just criticizing. And then after, oh yeah, you did fight, huh? Oh, okay. And then it never goes good.
No,
It's,
and then
it's
God,
for a fight, bottom line. And then, but then too, it's like you have the guys that are going to like as soon as you say jujitsu, like they'll say, "Hey, you have cauliflower. Do you do jujitsu?" And it's like, yeah. I was like, well, jujitsu means nothing if you can't wrestle, if you can't get it to the ground, and you have the same thing all over again. It's just stupid.
yeah, it's a horrible scenario, and God forbid that person kind of knows somebody that actually fights. It's never their direct friend. It'd be like their cousin's friend, and they'll sit there and tell you about it, and then turns around. This is actually someone you train with, and they're telling you how this guy would fuck you up, and they're trying like they don't know this obviously, but oh man, the bar room fight experts are some of the best and worst people in the world at the same time.
Okay, dude. I got a story that like touches on exactly what you just said because I think I've told it to you before, but I was in downtown Anoka with Dion, one of my good friends, and we were drinking. I went to go get us another drink. I come back and he's talking to this dude and he's like, "Yeah, Damien, come here. Yeah, this dude, he thinks his buddy fights or whatever. You know who this dude is?" And he like, we all have that our buddy who's a hype man. He starts talking out of his ass about how good I am, but it's like exaggerated to the fullest. I'm the next world champ type shit. So anyway, this dude is doing the same thing about his buddy. And he's saying that he's gonna go get him, and I'm like, dude, Dion, let's go. He's telling him like, go get your buddy, dude, go get him. He's like, and he's telling me, he's like, damn, you'll whoop this dude's ass. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, dude, I don't want to fucking fight tonight.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'll whoop it. Get the fuck. You're fighting. I'm not doing shit, dude. So anyway, dude comes over with his friend. He's like, they're over here, and he's like leading his friend towards us. So his friend comes out of like the crowd of people or whatever, and the dude is like, "See, here's my buddy," and it's Derek Getzel, and I'm looking like, "What's up, dude? How you doing?" We just hug and stuff, and they're like, "You guys know each other?" I'm like, "Yeah, this dude's a fucking badass," and he's saying the same about me, and we're just like, "No, dude, he fights." Me and him walk off or whatever. We're talking. I don't know. We spend a few minutes just talking shit about our buddies, how they're dumb, and this. It was fucking hilarious, and I'm so glad that it worked out like that because it doesn't always. It doesn't always.
Yeah, especially if his buddy comes back and his buddy's not a fighter, and you got to call his bluff in front of his friend. I mean, we're looking at a whole different scenario right there.
Dude, I've had to do that with people that were telling me that their hands were registered. I kind of gave up on it now. It's not as important to me anymore unless they want to continue with it, because I'll let them say it and just like let it be. But like if they want to continue with it and like try to make it seem to everybody and stuff, it's like, dude, don't make me a part of your lie. It's like, yeah, you're telling everybody your hands are registered, dude. Mine aren't.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I've never had to register my hands. Like I'm and all it's pretty much a myth, dude. It doesn't exist. And then they start saying, well, no, because my uncle or my cousin, it's like, well, do you have your registration? Because, I mean, who's the governing body? Because, like, let's say the firearms, the fuck.
ATF?
ATF, yes, that's what it is. Yeah, so the ATF, and then you have the DEA over drugs or whatever, right? FBI over federal crimes and stuff. Who regulates being a registered fighter federally? Which department? Who's in control? Who do you have to have the ID by? Where's the marking? Like if you have to conceal and carry, you have to carry that license with you at all times, right? So do you have to carry the license with you at all times? Can I see it? Yeah. And it gets into shit like that. And then like once you break it down technically, everyone gets mad. It's like, you calling me a liar? I'm like, yes, I'm calling you a liar.
Yeah.
And then they get mad, and it's like, dude, like you could have dropped it, man. Yeah. I'm like, it's that fucking bad. But like nowadays, I mean, well, I guess even still, because I'll still call somebody out on it if they could persist. But I used to call people out on it like right away because I used to believe that it was true.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. It's one of the. It's like you don't want to go there because the touchiest thing about any person is going to be their ego. So when you're calling somebody out and it's just, it's like you said, it's like I try to avoid saying the phrase, "You're a fucking liar." I said it politely every way I possibly could. But I'm sorry that your Uncle Reggie convinced you to pay a $75 fee to register your hands, but Uncle Reggie just took your money from you. That's some bullshit, son. Like the commissioner is Uncle Reggie, the sanctioning body is Uncle Reggie. Uncle Reggie just took your money from you.
Man, I don't know. And it's so funny that myth is still around, and the only people that say it are people that never actually fought. Like, there's people that have been telling me that, oh yeah, you see, you're the only one here that knows. Like, we can't even get into fights here and stuff. And then it's like, dude, you were just telling me about how you got into like 10 street fights, but your hands are registered and shit. It's like, you never went to jail for that. And then I'm always asking too, like, what did they have to like take a cast, like a mold of your hand, and like what do they do? Like go up to, like, they look at the punch marks on a person's face and they like match it up, like your fist into theirs. Like,
no,
fuck.
What they did is they actually took a stress fracture X-ray, and every time you compress your hand, it makes we're talking a 1/1,000,000th of a fracture. So you can see it, bro. I've been throwing hands.
Oh man, it's just like I don't.
And it's like, of all the shit in the world, like we've said it once, I've said it a bazillion times, especially on this show. You cannot lie about any martial arts experience, especially in the world we live in. I mean, back in the 80s, 90s, it was commonplace. We joked about it before. Like, go watch UFC 1, 2, and 3. Everybody there is like 100-0. Like, they've never lost in their life. And then the punch gets thrown at them, and they fucking put their hands up and drop to the ground. Like, I mean, it was commonplace to make that shit up. But nowadays with this, and then if you're going to lie, tell me a good lie. Tell me you're fucking 20-0 with 90 knockout. Don't tell me your fucking hands are registered. Like, come on.
Tell me something that you can back up.
Yeah.
Like tell me that you had 1 or 2 fights and they were smokers, or that it wasn't sanctioned back when you fought. Even that's more believable. But to say something like, as far as registered, especially like, you don't have the documentation to prove it if it's true, even if it is. And it's things like, I'm not going to go as far as to say like these people are like dishonoring the sport or anything like that. But it's definitely disrespectful to tell a person who does this and takes this serious that you do it and you're making up shit about, and it's just like, how difficult is that? And then you're basically telling me that I'm bad at it when you've never even done it and things like that, and how you could be better at it. Like, I don't give a fuck what your job is. Your job is to wash dishes. I'm going to come up to you and be like, man, I can wash dishes better than you. You leave spots all the fucking time. It sounds insulting. It's your fucking job. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, It sounds, but now these dudes that know shit, like are supposed to feel like they have the right, because I guess they either believe their own bullshit or they believe it to be true about you. Like, they can't go out and fight because their hands are registered. At least that's what they're telling you. So, and they just hope that that's true, because they're just trying to piss you off. Because then once you have to, because in their mind they're thinking like, you're going to have to get up and walk away and not fight them. And they're going to be like, yeah, bitch, you better leave. You better walk away, asshole, so that they can look tough, calling out a real fighter. And I guess that's the scenario that they all see playing out in their head. I don't fucking know. But, oh, dude, I'm getting all worked up.
Yeah, I think it's 0 for 100 ever work it out that way in their favor. I mean, when you do something like that, just put yourself on the spot. If you can't back it up, I mean, like I said, you're just making an ass out of yourself. One of my favorite things that you've said, especially about people lying about shit, is like, I might not have the videos for every single one of my fights, but I got at least one of those fucking videos. I can show you that I fought in a cage with gloves and a referee in there before. So you tell me about your experience, and you can't show me a picture in the land of Photoshop. in 2020, you can't show me a fucking picture or a video, I don't want to hear about it.
For real. I
Man.
don't know. Does that? Well, okay, because I feel like we didn't really answer the question. We gotta touch on how a fighter should actually respond to that. I mean, the obvious answer is to walk away, but to the people that are expecting them to walk away, don't be surprised if they beat a motherfucker's ass. If you go and instigate and you start a fight or you assault them, whatever, right? Self-defense is still self-defense, even if you're a fighter. Like, let's take this into consideration. If you're threatening me and I feel like my life is in danger or is a potential to be in danger, and I pull out my pistol and I'm legally registered to hold it or whatever, right? Granted, you can't have it at the bar and all that shit or whatever, so this is a different scenario. But anyway, I pull out my gun and I shoot and kill you. I'm legally justified. I'm gonna get arrested that day and they take your gun or whatever and shit. They do their investigation, but you're not gonna be charged most likely. It's self-defense. But I can't fight you and not kill you?
Yeah.
For the same reason?
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense, people? Like,
no, it makes literally no sense. I mean, it's one of those scenarios where if you sit there and poke the dog with a stick and you expect the dog to not bite you in the ass, then you're just a special kind of stupid. And I mean, those people that deserve to get bit in the ass. So to all the fighters out there, I'm not telling you to bite him in the ass metaphorically. But if you got to, I don't blame you. That's the moral of the story. So as of this video here, unless Damien interjects, I need you guys to like below, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damien and TJ right now. We'll wait. Thanks for that. And then do not be a hoe.
peace.